Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Salatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbana arinal haqqa haqqan warzuqna ittiba'ahu wa arinal batila batilan warzuqna ijtinabah. Innal hamdalillah nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruhu wa na'udzu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن سيدنا محمدا عبده ورسوله اللهم صل وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين أما بعد. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah, all praises be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We are here today for us to continue on, right, with our discussion as per how we have started last week in preparation for Ramadan. So we are doing a little bit of revision, right, about fasting. So last week we spoke about Siyam, okay, and we spoke about how the term Siyam or Sawm, fasting itself, generally it means to abstain oneself from something. So whenever someone is abstaining himself or herself from doing something, that is in essence Siyam. But when we're speaking about Siyam from an Islamic perspective, we know and we understand that it is to abstain oneself from eating or drinking or doing any things that may invalidate the fast from dawn, again from the break of dawn until sunset, with niyyah. And I think we spoke at length actually last week about the niyyah and how the difference between an obligatory sawm, okay, obligatory fast, and a sunnah fast, in terms of when should the niyyah be intended. Right, the difference being that obligatory sawm, you need to have the niyyah or intention before the break of dawn itself. Okay, where else for sunnah fasting, okay, the intention can be until before Zohor prayers, okay, before the call for Zohor prayers. Okay, so we look today at some of the shurut wujub as-sawm wa shurut sihhatihi, which means that some of the requisites that make someone obligatory upon a person to perform the fast. Okay, so essentially the question of who should perform a fast. Okay, and then the next question of shurutu sihhatu sawm essentially is the question of when is your fast considered as valid. Okay, so first of all, with regards to who should be performing the fast. Okay, here are some of the syarat. Okay, some of the requirements. There are essentially 3 requirements. First of all is Islam. Okay, in essence, it means that only Muslims are required to fast. Secondly is taklif. Taklif here means that someone who has reached the age of puberty and someone who is able to discern, to differentiate between what is good and what is bad. Okay, so there is taklif. And third is al-khulu anil i'dhar al-mani'ah min as-sawm aw al-mubihah lil-fitr. Okay, which means you are free from anything that stops you or prohibits you from fasting or permits you to break your fast. Okay, so in general, those are the three requirements. So as long as you fulfill these 3 requirements, okay, it is obligatory, okay, upon you to perform the fast in the month of Ramadan. So when it comes to Islam, when we say that a person needs to be a Muslim in order or for him or for her to be obliged to perform the fast. So the question then is that the reason why this crops up is simply because that what it means that you need to be a Muslim in order for you to be able to fast. It doesn't mean that as a non-Muslim cannot fast, because again, we recall back that fasting in general, it means to abstain oneself from something. Okay, but what it means here that you need to be a Muslim in order as a shurut wujub as-sawm, okay, as a requisite for fasting to become obligatory upon you. So what it means here is essentially that in order for the fasting that you perform, the sawm that you perform is considered as part of a religion. Okay, as a religious duty, for it to be something that you are rewarded for performing it. You need to fulfill these criteria. Okay. On the other hand, even if you do not fulfill these criteria, but you do want to try. So, for example, for us living in Singapore, it's actually quite normal actually. Living in a multicultural community, society, whereby we do get sometimes non-Muslims, just kind of like trying to understand, they want to understand better about their Muslim neighbors and so on and so forth. So they would like to try and fast along. Okay. So is it possible? Is it permissible? Yes, it is permissible. So the only thing here is that the question of if they were to fast, would they be rewarded by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for fasting? The answer to that is no. Okay, so if you are talking about rewards in terms of rewards in the hereafter, then the answer is no. But if by rewards we mean that they reap the benefits of fasting, then yes. So essentially, we know that yes, when someone performs a fast, it helps in terms of cleansing your internals, helps you in terms of weight loss and so on and so forth. So all of these benefits, if you're talking about rewards in terms of these benefits, then yes, they would still benefit from it. But if you're talking about reward in terms of rewards in the hereafter, okay, then the answer is no. Okay, in order for you to receive rewards from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the hereafter for performing your fast, you need to fulfill these three criteria. Okay, first of all, you need to be a Muslim. Okay, and so hence, say for example, if someone halfway through the day suddenly becomes a non-Muslim, okay, for whatever reason, suddenly decides to denounce his or her religion, then fasting is no longer obligatory upon the person. But scholars do say that if in the moment of time in the future, if the person decides to re-embrace Islam, then all of those fast, all of those ibadah that he or she has not performed while they had renounced Islam, they have to essentially pay back, okay, to do it back again. So that's first. Okay, the first requisite will be Islam. Okay, you need to be a Muslim. Secondly is a taklif. Okay, like I said earlier, taklif means that someone who has reached of an age and is able to discern or to differentiate between what is good and what is bad. Essentially, you are able to think rationally. Okay. The basis of this is actually the hadith whereby the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam stated, "Rufi al-qalam an thalatha, an al-na'im hatta yastayqiz, wa an al-sabi hatta yahtalim, wa an al-majnun hatta yaqil." Okay, which means literally it means the pen is rufi'a, means that it is taken off. Okay, from three groups of people. So what it means by the pen here, it essentially means that the actions of these three people will not be recorded by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? In other words, no matter whatever that they do, okay, even if it's prohibitions, okay, even if it contravenes with the Sharia, it will not be considered as the person has sinned. Okay, so the first group of people will be an-na'im hatta yastayqiz, a person who is sleeping until he wakes up. Okay, so henceforth scholars do say that, for example, okay, with regards to someone who say, for example, sleeps and he slept throughout Fajr. Okay, so a person who sleeps throughout Fajr, okay, is not considered to have been to have sinned. Okay, provided provided right after he or she wakes up and realizes that, oh no, okay, I have missed my Fajr, and then as soon as possible try to perform the Fajr prayers. Then the person would not have sinned. Okay. On the other hand, if the person wakes up, realizes that it's beyond Fajr, but then decides to just take things for granted, dilly-dally, go slowly about. Okay, then that's a different matter altogether. Secondly, وَعَنِ الصَّبِيِّ حَتَّى يَحْتَلِمْ. Again, the second group of people will be from children until they have reached of age, again, i.e. puberty. Okay. وَعَنِ الْمَجْنُونَ حَتَّى يَعْقِلْ. And from a person who is insane or essentially have lost the capability to think until he or she becomes sane. So in this context, it's actually referring to not much with regards to a person who is intoxicated. Okay, when the term here anil majnun, okay, a crazy person. Okay, it's not referring to a person who is intoxicated. Okay, but specifically, it is actually focused on people who have medical conditions that makes them from time to time lose their ability to think. Okay, one such condition that comes to mind would be epilepsy. So a person who suffers from epilepsy, okay, from an episode of epilepsy, anything that he or she does while under that period, okay, or epilepsy attack, then whatever that he or she does is considered as, it is forgiven. It is not written down by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, it is not considered as a sin. Okay, so those are the three groups of people, and so therefore scholars say that for children, okay, below the age of puberty or who have yet to reach puberty, okay, anything that they do, okay, would not be written down as their own actions. Okay, so in other words, even if they did not perform the fast, they will not be considered a sin. Okay. On the other hand, scholars do say that if the children, although below the age of puberty, if they were to perform any acts of ibadah, then the rewards will actually be given to their parents. Now, that is another discussion altogether, okay, in terms as to what it means that the rewards is given to the parents rather than to the children who have yet to reach the age of puberty. Last but not least, okay, the requirements. The third requirement will be al-khulu' anil i'dhar al-mani'ah min as-sawm aw al-mubihah lil-fitr. Okay, to be free from anything that prohibits you from performing. Okay, from performing your fast, or from or being able to mubihah lil fitr. Okay, it allows you to break your fast. Okay, there's a number of things. Okay, there are two things that would stop you or would be considered as prohibitions that would stop you from performing your fast. First of all, that would be specific only to the ladies. Okay, at-talabbus bil hayd aw an-nifas juz'an min ajza'in nahar. Okay, which means that if for the ladies specifically, if your hayd, okay, your period or your menstruation, okay, were to come anytime during the day. So anytime, even while you're fasting, so let's say you're fasting, and then let's say it's after Asar, and then your menstrual blood comes out flowing, then it would mean that your fast is invalidated. Again, you need not to complete your fast. In fact, indeed, you are required to recover back the fast or qada back the fast after the month of Ramadan. Okay. Secondly, al-ighma أو الجنون المطبق بياض اليوم كله. Okay. Which means that to be again it's to lose the ability to think, okay, to lose the ability of control over your body using your mind. Okay, essentially, like I said earlier on, epilepsy and the such. Okay, for the most part of the day. Okay, so which means that if a person were to suffer from an epileptic episode, or to become incapable of thinking, to become insane throughout the whole day, then the person would not have been considered as fasting. On the other hand, if the episode of epilepsy is a short one, so let's say perhaps maybe 1 or 2 hours, then the person, again, after recovering from the epilepsy episode, will still need to continue fasting. Okay, so the difference here is in terms of duration. So if it's just a short while, a few hours, then the person can still continue. Okay, but on the other hand, if the episode is throughout the day, then it will not be considered as a fast. Okay, so those are the two things that stops you or prohibits you from performing your fast. On the other hand, there are 3 things that would make it permissible for you to break your fast. Okay, first of all, al-maradu alladhi yusabbibu li sahibihi dararan shadidan. Okay, first of all would be an illness, okay, that causes the person to suffer terribly. Okay, so in this case, the issue of dararan shadidan, okay, to suffer from extreme pain, it is quite subjective here, okay, in the sense that our pain tolerance, okay, differs from one individual to another, right? So for some of us, maybe a simple flu or cough is not much of a big matter, okay. But for others, the cough and the flu might be something that is unbearable for the person, okay. That the person would need to take medicine and so on and so forth. So the question of what type of illness or being sick, how sick do I need to be in order for me to be able to break my fast? The answer would be depending on yourself. Okay, so it depends on yourself. It depends on your pain tolerance, how well you think you can handle the pain. Now that's first. Secondly, السفر الطويل الذي لا يقل عن 83 kilometers. Okay, which means to be on a journey. Okay, to be on a journey that exceeds 83 kilometers. Okay, so if you are on a journey, okay, of more than 83 kilometers, and when we say 83 kilometers here, it is actually referring to the distance taken from point A to point B, rather than the actual total distance driven. Okay, so in other words, it will not, you will not be considered as to be on a long journey. If, say, for example, you're just simply driving from Orchard, you go down to Sentosa, goes up to Woodlands, go to Jurong, and then goes back to Tampines, and then that is beyond 83 kilometers. Even if it is beyond 83 kilometers, it would not be counted. Why? Because the calculation of 83 kilometers is between point A and point B, based on the shortest distance possible. Okay, so unless if you say that there is no other route for me to go back home to Tampines from Orchard except to go all around the island, then that is considered. But on the other hand, in real world, whereby we know that there is a direct route from here Orchard to Tampines, then it is not counted for. Okay, so it is not permissible for you to break your fast. Okay, although the total journey taken is more than 83 kilometers. Okay. And last but not least, number 3 would be al-ajzu an siyam, which means that you are too frail to perform your fast. Okay. So it says here, فَلَا يَجِبُ الصَّوْمُ عَلَى مَنْ لَا يُطِيقُهُ لِكِبْرٍ أَوْ مَرَرٍ لَا يُرْجَى بُرْأَهُ. Okay. So which means that a person, okay, who is frail due to old age or due to an illness that he or she has, essentially what it means here, la yurja bur'ahu, means that you have slim chances of recovering from it. Okay? Example of it would be your critical illnesses such as cancer, right, and such, whereby the illness is prolonged and it makes your body too frail for you to be able to fast. Now, for the third mubiha, again, the third item, again, here that permits someone to break their fast. Okay, the difference between the third and the other two is that, unlike the first two, okay, whereby if a person who breaks his fast because he is on a long journey or he suffers from an ailment, maybe, for example, okay, let's say maybe COVID, okay, whereby right after you have returned from your journey, or you return back to your health, right? You need to recover back the fast. On the other hand, a person who is not fasting due to old age, due to frailty in his physique, due to old age, due to prolonged illness, then the person need not to recover the fast. On the other hand, straight away the person would need to pay fidyah, okay, on the fast that he or she is not able to do. Right? So those are the shuruti wujub as-sawm, okay, the answers to the question of who needs to perform the fast in the month of Ramadan. So to conclude, you need to be a Muslim, you need to be someone who has reached the age of puberty and of a sound mind, and you would need to be free from things that stops you or prohibits you from performing the fast, or things that permits you to break your fast. Okay, so the difference between things that stops you from fasting and things that permits you to break your fast is that things that prohibit you from fasting means that totally you cannot fast. Even if you were to fast, it will not be considered by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as an act of worship, as an ibadah. Okay? You will still need to recover the sawm, okay, the fasting after the month of Ramadan. On the other hand, with regards to things that permits you to break your fast, it essentially is an option for you. So even if you are on a long journey, all right, but if you decide that, oh no, even if I'm on a long journey, I still would like to maintain fasting. Okay, I would still want to fast during the month of Ramadan. It is permissible. So you do not need to break your fast simply because of you are on a travel, on a journey that is longer than 83 kilometers. So that's the difference between things that prohibits you, totally you can't, and things that permits you to break your fast. Means that there is an option over there, whether you want to take that option of breaking your fast or continue fasting for the whole day. Alright, so that's the difference. Wallahu a'lam bisawab. Inshallah, we will rest here for today. Okay, hopefully it has been beneficial to all of us. And let's end our session today with tasbih kafaran. Surah Al-Asr. A'udzu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik, asyhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wal 'asri innal insana lafi khusr illa alladhina amanu wa 'amilus solihat wa tawassaw bil haqq wa tawassaw bis sabr. Wa sallallahu ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.